Garrett, it's my Saturday report. It's day 5 of our Club La Santa extravaganza, and the three of us have been having another fantastic day here. It's only 10 o'clock, but we're so caboodled. We are going to bed right now. So what have we been doing today? Well, of course, at 8 o'clock in the morning, we did our standard athletics morning gymnastics. It's our 15-minute warm-up, courtesy of Club La Santa, where all participants or all attendees sort of stand around the central point where the water feature is. We all do a 15-minute kind of limbering up exercise. So we did that again today. We do it every day. And that took us to 8:15. And then we had a bicycle hire booked from 8:30 till 12 and also from 12 till 2. So effectively we could have gone from 8:30 till 2. But I did say that yesterday was terribly windy. Well, today, Saturday, was really windy. It made yesterday, well, it was just so windy. There's no other word for it. On a bicycle, obviously wind is not normally a good thing. I mean, if you're doing a circular route, you're going to get, if the wind is blowing in a constant direction, you'll be able to be against you at one point and with behind you another point. In our case, the wind was so strong that had you been riding any kind of aero bike with aero wheels, you just would have been blown over. Luckily, our bikes are standard bikes from Club La Santa. So Club La Santa now does free bike rentals. You can just either go on an organised cycle tour with them, or you can just ask for the bicycles, and that's what we did in our 2 bookings. So we took our pedals down. We obviously got our own helmets. We were in full bike kit, had Garmin mounts fitted, put our Garmins on, and we set off. We already had a route. My partner made a route, a 60k route, and we set off. And the first 40k were pretty tortuous. When we did the organised cycle ride the other day, we had to ride in formation. And of course, since there was just 2 of us, we didn't have to ride in formation. And it was that was the best part about the whole process of not being on an organised cycle tour. So although we weren't riding in formation, it was extremely stressful because on the downhills, when you're doing over, let's say 40k or maybe even 50k, you're looking for a change in the wind gust. If there's a sudden change in the gust of wind, the wind was so severe you had to angle your bicycle towards the wind to sort of counteract the wind. And of course, if that force cuts for a second, then you'll basically fall over. Let's say the wind is from the left to the right and you angle your bicycle to the left. If the force just momentarily drops, you'll just flop over. So it was extremely nerve-wracking. I found it quite nerve-wracking with the wind as it is. I mean, on the positive side, we didn't get any punctures. We finished in record time. In fact, we finished at almost exactly 12 o'clock. So we finished the 60k ride, almost 60k, just before 12. And we didn't start till 9. And given the weather conditions, we thought we'd done pretty well. So much so that our companion Sue was setting off on her mountain bike from 12. So we thought what we'd do is we'd hire mountain bikes. So my partner and I, we did hire some mountain bikes, and we went off on a little tootle on the mountain bikes. And no mountain bike expert at all, but these things had lockable front suspension, which I thought was, to me, that was quite fancy. When I had a mountain bike, I never had lockable front suspension. And yeah, we had a little time sort of cycling around La Santa, and we saw the breakers of the water off the coast, in the sea, and it was strong. It kind of mirrored the fact that it was so windy. And in fact, it's been windy all day. I mean, the track, and it's Saturday, but the track has been virtually deserted. And normally people are kind of hooning around at all times of the day. And we look out onto the track so we can see who's running and who isn't. And I'll tell you, there's no one. What can I say? Anything more to say about the cycle ride? Not really. I mean, the road surface in Lanzarote varies from normally pristinely pothole free and smooth to there's a section on the back road. I think it's back from SOO, to Club La Santa, which is extremely rough. I mean, it's so rough that I worry constantly I'll get a puncture if I go at any speed. But it seems not. So it's been the second sort of longest cycle, and we've not had any punctures. So I guess they I haven't checked what tyres they're using, but whatever tyres they are using, they're quite tough. Yeah. So other things happened on the cycle ride. We passed a camel renting area. We passed the El Grifo winery, and we didn't stop. We passed some many vineyards, which we did stop and have a look at. Yeah, it was a great cycle ride, but somewhat stressful. So after the mountain biking, we thought we'd relax with a bit of a swim. So my partner and I went off for a long swim, at least 40-minute swim, and we covered just less than 2 kilometres on the swim, and it was just very relaxing. We didn't swim quickly, but we just swam. Now, although you in principle do book a lane, and you can have up to 6 people in a lane, at lunchtime or 1 o'clock, or I think we went at 2 o'clock maybe, there was so few people in the pool. There were no teams practicing, that we obviously had a lane to ourselves. Brilliant. Just, it's just it's like a dream pool where you can have an entire Olympic 50-metre lane to yourself. And it's marked down, so you've got the lane demarcations, but the actual line is marked in the middle on the bottom of the pool. So you just follow the line. Just fantastic. So that was in the afternoon. Then nothing much happened until 4 o'clock when we had the stretch and relax class. Now, I wasn't looking forward to the class, so I thought it might be a bit wishy-washy, and it was a bit wishy-washy. So I don't think I'm going to go into the stretch and relax class again. A bit boring, and it's a lot of different movements and poses, but you just hold the same pose. So like, for example, if you're stretching, so you can put your hand like this to stretch this bit here, and they just held that pose for what I consider too long. So it's at least, I think, a 30 it might be 45-minute class, and it's a few poses, but you're holding them for a long amount of time. Anyway, we finished that, and then it was time for the highlight of the day, which is the washing. So we went down to the washing. Now, the washing machines have been a bit on the blink. There's 4 washing machines, and only 1 have been working, but now there's 3 working. It's much improved, and as a consequence, there were no waiting time, so that's great. At the same time as doing the washing, I did notice 3 cats. So I was obviously terribly distracted to put the washing in, and then I was off chasing cats. Well, not chasing cats, but trying to get close to cats and get them to come and have a cuddle. But none of the cats were up for it. And there's a sign saying, "Do not feed the cats," because they're apparently very well fed by Club La Santa. So, cats. A good way to get a cat to come to you is to offer food. But since that option, I'm a law-abiding citizen, I wasn't allowed to have that option. I just had to use my cat charm, and unfortunately today there was no cat charm, and so no cats were cuddled. We had dinner this evening. Partner and I ate in, and Sue ate out at La Plaza. And in fact, we went to the quiz night, which started at 7:30, and I thought the quiz night was going to take not very long. But what I was forgetting as a quiz almost virgin is that you have to answer all the questions, and then all the papers have to be marked by, you swap it with another team. And then, of course, you have to answer all the questions, and that obviously doubles the time of the quiz. So I hadn't realised it was going to take, because we'd finished the quiz in like half, and I thought, this is too short a quiz, but obviously I hadn't considered the marking aspect. So anyway, we thought we had quite a good score. We got 19 out of a possible, I think it's 35. And then I was aghast to find out that there were lots and lots of people who'd beaten us, like by loads. In fact, I think the winners they got 34, which means out of all the questions, they only got one wrong. One! That's unbelievable. I think the runner-up was 33 points out of 35. So, I mean, it was just, doesn't make any sense, does it? So, yeah, we thought we'd done really well in the quiz night. We did do it whilst having dinner, which was quite economical in terms of our time. And we had a nice time. And they do say with quizzes, it's the participation that counts. And we did have a lovely time. So, it doesn't matter. It didn't matter that we didn't win or get any freebies or goodies or whatever. We had a lovely time. So that's it for today. That's it for today, Saturday. Tomorrow will be Sunday, and we are going to go on a run. That's the plan. We've got to check the wind speed, because if tomorrow, I can't check it now, but if the wind speed is anything like tomorrow, tomorrow is anything like today, we'll just have to cancel it, because it wouldn't make sense to sort of run in hurricane winds when the wind's against you. Just be like running against a brick wall. That's it for tonight. Thanks, Dara. Good night.